Good morning. Welcome to Randy's Corner. I'm your host, Randy Clark, and we got a great show this morning, but we got the Christmas decor of the week, and coming up first, I think, is Sylacauga Toyota. I tell you, this is Mr. Kane's wife is the one that does the decorating out there. She did the fall decorating. Now she's done a beautiful job on the Christmas decorations. And they are our decor business of the week. Coming up next, this is the Payne family. What a beautiful house. Look at that. This is the Christmas decor of the week yard. And they do such a great job. Beautiful house. So just remember, if you would like to get you or your neighbor or anybody on the street, if you'd like to get them on their beautiful yard during Christmas, just remember to submit your Christmas decor to the Sylacauga Beautification Council Facebook page to be chosen as weekly Christmas decor of the week. Now, my special guest today, he's can I call you old hometown guy?
Sure you can.
Well,
I am.
Well, I don't mean it as in old age. I just remember, I know you've got a lot of connection here in Sylacauga. My buddy here, Mike Shell with Shell Entertainment, we got something special going on tonight. But right now, I want to, can you tell everybody a little something about Mike Shell that don't know you?
I'm from Sylacauga. I was born here in the 50s, and I'm a musician. We started playing when the Beatles came out, and I have pursued entertainment my entire life. And as I tell people all the time, I've never had to get a real job. Played music since 1964. In fact, I remember my first job. I played a young lady's birthday party in Wilgefka in 1964.
Couple years ago.
It was a while ago. And Jim Ziegler, we all know Jim Ziegler.
Oh, yeah.
He remembers the party, and he remembers the young lady's name, and I don't. So, baby, if you're watching, I'm sorry I don't remember your name. I do remember your party.
There you go. Well, Mike, I've kind of kept up with you over the years as
I invented Facebook.
That's right. That's right. And I must say, you're one of the best bass players I've ever seen, and you got quite the singing voice, too.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
And I can't get by without mentioning your brother Randy and your old buddy David Harris. They was my classmates. I know you stay in touch.
I did your class reunion. Were you there?
You most certainly did.
I
was there.
And just a few months ago.
That's right.
Purcell Farms.
That's right. Well, I had a great time.
I did the DJ stuff, folks. I do that. And I do the strumming. I call it dudes on a stool.
That's right.
I invented that phrase, and most of them don't like it, but that's what it's come to these days. You go to a bar and there's one or two dudes on a stool up there doing all three of the chords they know. Back in my day, we had 10 pieces in the band at one time.
Right.
10 pieces on stage.
Right. I've seen the Old Pros several times. Great band, but could you just tell some of the folks, maybe go back in history a little bit and tell some of the folks some of the bands you've been in, and especially your special memories of being in bands?
Well, the Tempos was my first band, and that's the one that I have the fondest memories of. We were only together for 3 years here in Sylacauga. We did a little album that's now sought after all around the world. In fact, the last one sold for $2,000. Folks, it's not because it's good, it's because it's rare.
There you go.
We only made 500 of them, I think. We argued either 500 or 1,000. And but after that, of course, Sonny Duke and the Sundowners. I was very lucky, 23 years old. Sonny Duke gave me a job that I didn't deserve and I really wasn't qualified for. But I told all kinds of lies.
They believed in you, Mike.
Jimmy Sue believed in me.
Jimmy
Sue Cannon,
mention her.
Another Sylacauga girl. She called me and asked me if I could come play her show for her. She had not even joined Sonny yet. And they asked me if I could read music and could I come. The bass player was having a hard time with her material. Well, I've always learned you take the job, then you figure out how to do it.
Right.
I said, sure I can. So I went down and we went through her show, and just fortunately, I opened this old folder up. I knew every song.
Right.
I knew them by heart.
There you go.
So I just looked like knew what I was doing, and I got the job, and that's how I got the job. And
Right.
stayed with him 10 years.
Right.
And then Bob Kane and the Kane Breakers, and then Johnny Click, and then we throw together Mike Shell and the Handsome Strangers.
Right.
That's the first time I put my name out front. And I'm not that kind of guy. I don't want to be so-and-so, and so I just like to be part of a band. But I had an old guy that was head of special forces in Europe. His name was Colonel Jack Andrews. You got to put your name on front, boy, and you got to make them know who you are. So I reluctantly did it, and I guess it's paid off. 'Cause
Yeah.
I haven't never missed a week's work, not a week in all of my 50-plus years.
Yeah. Yeah. You've been in a bunch of bands. Could you talk for a minute about the Old Pros?
The Old
Oh,
Pros,
God.
had a bunch. At first it was the Handsome Strangers, and then we changed it to Mike and the Mags, middle-aged guys.
Right.
And then after we got older, I decided the Old Pros, perfect name, because everyone in the band was a member of some Hall of Fame. Bobby DeLander, great guitar player with Birmingham Music Hall of Fame. Greg Straub, keyboard player, Birmingham Music Hall of Fame. Gary Harbison, Alabama Blues Hall of Fame. Billy Earhart, keyboards from the Amazing Rhythm Aces. You remember that band?
Oh, yeah.
Third Ring Romance.
That's right.
Oh, fortunately, we got him to work with us. And I just used 8 or 10 of us. Buddy Cottingham from the Lori Morgan Band. Bunch of real famous sidemen, not famous stars, but sidemen. And we've been doing these songs for all these years, and we just get together and play. And it always comes out pretty good.
It comes out real good.
We know tens of thousands of songs, and I say, boys, we just need to narrow it down here to about 50 that we all know.
Right.
And it works out.
Works out good. One name you just mentioned, I'd like to talk about for just a minute. Jimmy Sue Cannon. Before you talk about her, Mike, you know, when we're little boys, you might say, and we all have this girl that we dream about,
Was that yours?
Jimmy Sue was one of mine.
Well, she was everybody in Birmingham, every man was in love with her too when she
Right.
worked at Sonny Duke's. But you were a little boy. See, I'm only 1 year younger than her. You were
Right.
5 years younger
That's
than her, I
right.
think. I didn't know Jimmy well in high school. She was unobtainable.
Yes.
But we were both in music. And when she called me to come to help her out at Sonny Duke's, it really was a shock. I was, you know, and but since that day, we have been buddies.
Right.
I called her. I told you 2 or 3 days ago. I called her and talked for 20 minutes. She came to my wife's funeral. I lost my wife 14 months ago, and she came and sit right by me for the whole 2-hour viewing. So
Right.
she's a buddy.
Right.
Oh, and I accuse her of being a witch. I believe she's cutting off chickens' heads in the closet because she still looks 35 years old.
does.
How can you be years old but look 35?
Right, right. Reason I brought her up, Mike, is I happened to see a picture of her the other day with she was with Dean Martin's Gold Diggers, I guess his backup singers. And
2 years she did that.
you seem to forget about that, but like you say, she's just as beautiful as ever.
She sure is. We did her birthday party 3 years ago. Her husband called me and said, "Can you reunite the band and as a surprise and come to Nashville and play?" I didn't have to think a second about it. Yes, sir, we can. And we went up there and surprised her on her birthday.
I bet that was it.
But she wouldn't sing.
She wouldn't.
She would not get up and sing.
Right, right. Well,
Said she left it behind. She
Yeah.
doesn't do it anymore.
right, right. I understand that.
I don't. Jimmy Sue.
I'm sure she's gonna get to watch this show.
Oh no.
So, now we got Mike Shell, the bass player, and the singer. Now let's talk about Shell Entertainment. You've been doing that for a while. How long you been doing that, Mike?
32 years. 32 years.
You did a lot of karaoke, hey?
I pretty much the one who brought it to Alabama. There was a couple of other pioneers, and I did it. I almost had to get a real job. Things 32 years ago starting to fizzle out. We weren't playing 6 nights anymore, or 5 or 4. Things change. You know, you don't know why during the time it's happening. You don't know why it's happening. Things change, and I was actually looking for a real job. when karaoke came along. And I went to see Johnny Johnson, and they were the only ones doing it. And he showed me what it was, and he ding, ding, ding. I said, I can do this.
Yeah.
And so I ordered my first karaoke rig and added it to my band at the time, Handsome Strangers. And I went from working 2 nights a week to 7 nights a week in just about a month.
Really more than what you thought it was going to be, wasn't it?
I had not, but I knew that I could make it work.
Yeah.
Because the few people that were doing it were secretaries and electricians and like that, but I was a professional entertainer, and I can make this work.
Yeah.
And here it is 32 years later. And then I turned it into a DJ company too. 1,072 weddings. Hey brides, don't forget me when it's time for your anniversary. 1,072, can you believe that?
That's a lot.
And corporate parties, class reunions, I did your class reunion.
You did?
And I did many more. And it just kept me working,
Right.
kept me working. Like I said, take the call, then figure out how you're gonna do the job.
Right. And you still do it.
Still do it now.
Still do
doing
it
it
now.
tonight.
I bet you have, you've seen some amazing singers over the years, haven't you?
I've seen, there ain't much I ain't seen, and a lot of it I can't talk about.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's kind of early for you because, like you say, you used to going to bed at this time.
Yeah, this is getting in time.
That's right, but I sure appreciate you coming in,
I
Mike.
appreciate you asking me to.
And tell everybody what we got going on tonight right here in Sylacauga. By the way, Mike's moved back home. He's got a home here in Sylacauga now.
He did.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of you. And tell us what we got going on tonight right here in Sylacauga.
I went out a week and a half ago to eat at Bandits. David Harris said, let's go eat at Bandits. And so we did. We'd watch, in fact, we'd watch the Alabama. We're Auburn fans, but we watched Alabama.
Right.
I'll give you a tiny roll tide.
Thank you.
But,
Appreciate it.
The food was great. I mean, great. I was very surprised at how good it was. And I was bragging to the owner, Derek. David Harris said, you need to hire this man. That's what he told Derek. Derek started talking about advertising he's doing at his club. David Harris, I can't believe he said this. David said, you know, I may buy one of those advertising. It'd be contingent on whether you put my buddy here to work.
Yeah.
So the next day I got a call from Derek, and we're going to start doing karaoke tonight at 6, folks. Come out at 6 o'clock. I got some good singers coming, but if you're not any good, that don't matter. In karaoke, it's just taking part. If you've never been to a karaoke show, it's interactive. That's why it's so
Sounds
successful.
fun.
You come to my band and you see 5 or 6 of us singing. You come to my show tonight, you may see 20 or 25 people. And it made me realize that really it's not as, what we do for a living is not as special as I once thought it was, because I've seen some very good singers come
bet
up
you
on the
have.
stage just blow me away.
Yeah.
But we start at 6 till 9, and it may turn into an every week thing. That'll be up to you folks whether you come or not.
Well, I want everybody to pack the place tonight, Mike.
Randy Kane, I'm looking for you. He told me he's going to bring
that's
one.
right. Randy told me he'd be there.
We're going to put the wheelchair ramp out. Y'all come on out.
That's right. One of the, you know, and this is kind of working out real good because Bandits happens to be one of Daybreak's sponsors. So
Good.
yes. So
I didn't realize that.
Right,
I didn't
so-
know his food was as good as it.
it is real good.
This will be one of the nicest places I've worked in many, many years. By the way, I work at Gray Bar in Birmingham on Friday and Saturday night. If you folks in Birmingham area, it's one of the best places up in Birmingham. So I'll be doing the best Birmingham now and the best Sylacauga.
There you go. Hey, we're so glad to have you back in Sylacauga, Mike. I know you left at an early age, but you back now.
I'm back for good now.
And,
Yes, I am. That's something.
I tell you one of my wishful things. I hope you and David Harris and his wife, maybe y'all can get a band back together. Never know.
We've talked about that.
Never know.
If somebody, in fact, we'll play tomorrow night. Anybody want to call us?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's Mike Shell with Shell Entertainment. He's going to be out at Bandits Bar and Grill right here in Sylacauga tonight at what time, Mike?
6 o'clock. Come eat with me.
6 o'clock. So come on out to Bandits. Thank you, Mike, for coming
Yes, sir.
in.
I appreciate
it. All right, remember, folks, please not litter our streets and waterways, and we'll see you next week.